Hi guys, it's Tim, and today I want to tell you about some of the real science behind my science fiction novel, Darkcide. I spent most of my career in science communication, and this book was inspired by some of the science outreach work that's done at NASA, shout out to them, specifically the outreach around one spacecraft called the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. This thing had a bunch of missions, but the big sexy one was it was going to fly around the moon and generate the first really detailed maps of the moon's south pole. And the south pole of the moon is kind of the section of the moon that's the coolest and most interesting to science and to scientists. And to understand why that's true, I want to show you this very brief animation. This is a visualization of the moon's south pole over the course of one orbit of the moon around the Earth. And it appears as though the sun is rotating around in the sky as the moon is rotating around the Earth. And as you can see, there's a few areas of this image towards the center where at the bottom of the craters it's always dark. Areas of the moon's surface where the sun doesn't shine are really interesting to science because those are the only areas on the moon where water ice might exist. If you wanted to build a base or a colony on the moon, you need water to keep living things alive. So science is really interested in finding out if there might be significant deposits of water ice in the bottoms of these craters. The south pole of the moon is the only place on the moon where they might exist. And I got personally excited thinking about this when one of the first images came back from the LRO. It was this picture. Now this is a rainbow color-coded topographic map. Don't really worry about the data in here. The point is, it made clear that the topography around the south pole of the moon is crazy stark. There are huge mountains and ridges that are way bigger than any mountains here on Earth. And so I started thinking about what that landscape might look like just based on the topographic map. And that got me thinking about what the Earth would look like if you were standing there looking back at it. Let's take a look at another animation. So here the camera starts on the far side of the moon away from the Earth. And we're going to fly underneath the moon's south pole. So it's now the south pole passing above us. And then we're going to zoom in quickly here towards the Earth, which looks the way you expect it to look, like a globe looks, Antarctica on the bottom. But of course, that's not how it would look if you were standing on the South Pole. From the South Pole, the Earth would look like it was rotated 180 degrees, and Antarctica would be on top, like this. And so I got to thinking, well, if that was me standing there looking at the Earth, I'd probably think, gosh, man, the Earth looks upside down to me. And of course, I am the one who would be wrong. The Earth is not upside down. It just looks that way to me because I would have brought my ideas from the old world with me onto the new world. And that's what was making me feel out of place. And that was like, okay, that's fundamentally an interesting character and an interesting dilemma. And that's actually how the book opens. The first scene in this book is a guy standing in his spacesuit, looking back at the Earth and thinking to himself, the fucking thing is upside down, right? His daughter, who's 20 and who was born on the moon, doesn't think it looks upside down. Globes that she's seen that were made on the moon are made with Antarctica on top. It's just that he feels out of place in that world that he helped build because he can't stop conceiving of his universe the way he did when he grew up. He can't give up his own childhood cosmology in a way. And that I started to think was really, really interesting. That already established a basic fundamental conflict, and conflict is the essence of drama. There's a lot more actual science behind some of the stuff that's in this book. But that's all I want to share with you guys for today. I also want to give a huge shout out, not just to NASA, but specifically to a group called the Scientific Visualization Studio. I'm told they're at the Goddard Space Flight Center, which is in Greenbelt, Maryland. They're awesome. That's the group that made these animations and have been really great about not only creating resources, but giving them away in a format that's easy for people like me to kind of cut and paste and stick back together. To show you what I mean by that, I took that animation upside down and reversed, and I just added a little bit of score and then a title, and I think I'm going to use that as the intro for these video series. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope I'll be back soon with some more bonus content about Darkcide.